Here we are coming into the house. I work a lot with boundaries, front doors, curbs, gateways. But the front door is like the main boundary where dogs pull their owners through front doors and back doors. So we work a lot at these major boundaries. And she knows she has to be very calm, stay very calm, walk in with me, okay, without pulling to that front door, which means that you have to slow down and make sure that you reinforce that. And we'll do this little exercise first before I do the mat exercise. Sit, have her sit, and then, okay, come on, this way. So you have her sit, and then you can practice going both ways. And it's a great little exercise because, of course, good. Of course, whenever you, okay, hook her up to her leash and collar, she's going to think, oh, we're going to go for a walk, and she's going to be all excited. Sit. Good girl. Good. And she's going to think, oh, we're going for a walk, and then you go towards the front door, and she's going to get all excited. But if you do this exercise once a day, where you just go in and out, okay, twice or 3 times like this, this takes all the juice out of her going through the front door later on. Sit. And this becomes a place where she doesn't go crazy, but because she's just thinking, well, maybe this doesn't mean we're going for a walk. Maybe I'm just doing this fun exercise that we do, that if I do correctly, I get rewarded for. Good. Okay. Hey. Come on. Okay. Come here. Sit. Do it a little bit closer to the door. Good. Where she has to wait while you walk out and walk back next to her. Really important that that she's walking with you through, not following you out, because it's all about her walking next to you and being calm, not about following you through the doorway. If you're calling her to you through the doorway, that's going to build anticipation. It's an old-fashioned thing that we don't do anymore. It takes a lot more concentration for her to wait for you, to step away from her, and then wait for you to come back next to her, and then have enough self-control, good, to, okay, walk through the boundary with you without pulling you through. It's a lot harder for the dog to do it this way. Okay, therefore, if we practice this, then we get a lot better results overall. Okay, so now we're going to do the stationing mat, and I'm going to just do a little left turn to go back and close that door, have her sit in front of the mat. My right hand, I'm going to pat her chest and say, go to your mat, and say down. And she's doing that perfectly, so good. She gets a reward. I'm going to lay it right on the mat there. I'm going to put the leash out, lengthen the leash out, so if she gets up, pops up, I can grab it. You don't want to have it all right here, because if it's right there, you can't use it. So make sure that you put it out here like this. And you just start doing this exercise by, hey, look, by walking around in the room to different places and coming back. As long as she stays there, good, she gets a reward. I'm just going to walk around to different places in the room and keep coming back. Good, around behind her, come back. Good, out of her sight into the kitchen and come back. Good. Now if she gets up at any moment, anytime I walk away, I'm going to say no, and grab the leash, step on the leash and put her back like that. Or if she's left the mat, I say no and just pick up the leash and walk into her. Probably do a little left circle like that and just put her back on the mat. Just put her back gently but firmly. So with her, she's such a sensitive, easily excitable dog that we're very gentle, but we're also very firm. You have to be very firm and consistent, but gentle, because it's not a dog that you would correct a lot. Corrections aren't going to teach her anything other than that she's not safe with you. She needs to feel safe. And so we're doing all these things that are building her concentration and having her trust us more, because good, she does things correctly. All these little games we've taught her, all these little exercises, and she gets rewarded by us, and we give her praise, then she's going to feel like this is really the best thing to do, and that she's going to have more and more confidence as we go on and trust us more and more. So also what you can do is sit down on the furniture, because that's very often an invitation for the dog to come over And she used to get really excited when I would do that, but she's still staying there. This I would not allow, so if she starts to crawl off the mat, you get up and say no. And all you have to do is kind of like come and kind of step on her feet, but you're not stepping on them hard, you're just touching them. That's all you need to do, like that, and she'll back it off. As long as she keeps her feet on the mat, that's what you want. There's no crawling around allowed, she needs to stay there. Good, and now she's back there, I'm going to give her a reward for doing it the right way. But one of the things that's making her more excited is the camera person, which of course we've never had before. She wants to jump up and run over. No. She wants to jump up and run over to me. See, I barely touched her foot and she backed off. But she knows she has to stay on that mat. But see, as soon as I sit down on the sofa, she gets all excited. Why don't you show me? Show me where I am. And if she keeps doing this, where she keeps she put herself back, so we'll accept that. And I'm going to reward her. Oh, no, she's off the mat. So make sure that you make sure she knows that she has to do this the right way or else she doesn't get a reward. And we're not going to move forward with this exercise until she does it the right way and stays there. Okay, so show her again. So she's finally got it where she's staying there. Good, and she gets a reward for that. Okay. So now I'm going to start doing things that are more difficult for her to handle in the house. I'm going to leave the room and make noises and things like that. The first thing I'm going to do is go behind her into this hallway and knock on this door. Oh, very good. And she's there when I came back. Good, she gets a reward. If you're ever going to do something that's difficult for her to handle, it's okay to remind her of what you want her to keep doing. So before I go outside and ring the doorbell and knock on the door, I'm going to remind her, down. And I'm also going to bang on the windows. That could be a big distraction for most dogs. Knock on the door, making other dogs bark outside. Good, and that was really hard for her to do. Good, so she gets a double reward. Whenever you're practicing with her and she does something exceptional like that, she should get a big reward. Smaller rewards for sitting at gateways and doorways and things, because she does that all day long. This is a big deal, to stay calm, stay in a downstay. When you leave the house and somebody rings the door or knocks on the door, rings the doorbell, knocks on the door, bangs on the windows, that's kind of a big deal. That's really hard for any dog to do, so she should get a bigger reward for that. So other things you can do just to test her staying power, down, you can pull like this. I'm pulling pretty hard actually. Good. Pull from different angles. Good girl. I'm going to pull this way, down. Good. You can just test her staying power by doing that. She's really into food. She's like, when I first put her on there, it's really hard for her to focus. To develop this level of focus has been taking a lot of work. So she was, when we first put her on there, she was sniffing around trying to find crumbs until she focused. Now she's focused and into the game now. But this is another exercise you can do. Take this piece of food. First you want to start with putting this down a couple of feet away from her. And if you need to back up, you can. Down. This food down? Nope. See, she was going to go for it. You pick it up and say no. Let's try it again. Down. Nope. This is a huge lesson for her. Down. So she's waiting for me. Good. And I give it to her. That's the lesson. Now, the one reason you start off like putting the food, a couple feet away is that when you stand up and she goes for it, you need to block it with your foot and say no, because you may not be able to bend over and pick it up fast enough. But this is a huge lesson for her since she's such a food hound and really always wants these treats. If she waits for your permission and doesn't just go for it on the ground, which is she would always do that before, that means that she's really getting the fact that you're in charge, that everything good comes to her as long as she waits for it to come through you. That's the lesson of this exercise. It's really a huge lesson for the dog because That's when you know if they're doing it properly, that's when you know they're really getting that proper relationship between the human and the dog. Hey, see this? Putting a little bit closer. Nope. She only gets it if she does it the right way. Hey. Down. Putting it a lot closer to her. Good. Just another way to practice your down stay. Down. Nope. And we've never done this before, by the way, so you're watching me do it with her for the first time. Down. Good. We'll do it one more time, then we're done. Down. Really close to, nope. She doesn't get to have it until I give it to her. Down. Nope. Good. Right there. There you go. So that's a really important lesson to teach the dog. And just another great way to get the same effect of calming her down, just hitting that problem from a different angle. She has to be calm, she has to be focused, she has to be non-reactive to wait with that thing right there, to wait for you to actually give it to her so she can eat it. It takes a lot of being in the moment focus to do that. So that's what we're going for with all these different training exercises, but that's a good one to do as well as all the others we've shown you. So I'm going to take her off the mat. See, I picked up the leash. I'm going to stand back next to her, pat my leg and say, okay, come on, let's go. Good girl.